Hi there. It's March 22nd and time for Proverbs 22. Jump over there. Turn that off. Now this begins stuff down towards the bottom. Stuff you have to memorize, okay? These are good Proverbs. Some of these. A good name is to be chosen over great wealth. Favor is better than silver or gold. Right? Reputation. Right? A good reputation is to be chosen over great wealth. So a lot of people don't care, right? The rich and the poor have this in common. The Lord made them both. Right? Meat, it says. The sensible person sees danger and takes cover, but the inexperienced keep going and are punished. You're a sensible person. You see all these protests and this stuff's going on, and you just don't want anybody near that, right? If you're a sensible person. Or the result of humility, humbleness, right, is fear of the Lord, along with wealth, honor, and life. That's the key. It's being humble, right? And the result of being humble is fear of the Lord. So here the reward of humility and fear of God is riches, glory, and life. Okay, pretty simple. Hard to do in this world, but that's the key. There are thorns and snares on the path of the crooked. The one who guards himself strays far from them. Right? Stay away from that stuff. Famous verse. Teach youth about the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Mm-hmm. Take your kids to church when they're young. Expose them to that. Teach them about that. Right? And when they're old, they will not depart from it. Okay? Very simple. True statement. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. Most of us are still slaves today. You don't realize it. Right? One type of slavery was just replaced with another. Now everybody is in debt. Okay? You have to pay your taxes. You have to pay credit card bills and mortgages, car payments, and utilities. Okay, it was unheard of in the old days to actually pay for utilities, but now you're a slave to them. Right? And if you don't do what they say, they turn it off. They take things away. The one who sows injustice will reap disaster, and the rod of his fury will be destroyed. A lot of people doing that now, huh? Especially in government, sowing injustice. Right? It will not end well for them. 9, a generous person will be blessed, for he shares his food with the poor. You have a good eye. He that is merciful and generous. Because you always give more. You always get back more than you gave, right? Every time. Never fails. Every time. 10, drive out a mocker and conflict goes. 2, then quarreling and dishonor will cease. Cast out the scorner, right? Get away from these people, okay? Mockers, scorners, conceited, prideful people. Right? Surprise the peace that comes around. 11, the one who loves a pure heart and gracious lips, the king is his friend. The Lord's eye keeps watch over knowledge, but he overthrows the words of the treacherous. Words of the treacherous. Waiting for that, aren't we? 13, the slacker says, there's a lion outside. I'll be killed in the public square. Lazy people have any excuse, right? Any excuse. And it says this all over Proverbs. He repeats this 4 or 5 times. 14, the mouth of the forbidden woman is a deep pit, and man cursed by the Lord will fall into it. Reading over here. Mouth of the forbidden woman. That would be somebody who's married, right? 15, foolishness is tangled up in the heart of a youth. The rod of discipline will drive it away from him. Right? This child, youth. You have to discipline your kids. Foolishness is tangled up in the heart of a youth. Right? They have to learn to be good. Okay? They're not. Children are innocent when they're born, and it ends right there. Okay? After that, foolishness is tied up in them. Evil. Nobody teaches a child how to lie. Okay? They pick that up because of the original sin. That could be a whole conversation into itself. 16, oppressing the poor to enrich oneself and giving to the rich both lead only to poverty. I can imagine oppressing the poor to enrich oneself, but it happens, okay? More than you want to think it happens. Okay, words of the wise, okay? Now this is the start of, well, we'll just read it. Listen closely, pay attention to the words of the wise, and apply your mind to my knowledge. For it is pleasing if you keep them within you, and if they are constantly on your lips. All right? That means memorize these, know these, so they're always right there, okay? Know them. I've instructed you today, even you, so that your confidence may be in the Lord. Haven't I written for you 30 sayings? Right? There's a note there. About counsel and knowledge. In order to teach you true and reliable words, so that you may give a dependable report to those who sent you. This whole thing. Haven't I written for you 30 sayings? Okay, so these are 30 sayings. This will cover 3 chapters. There's like 5 today. And we're supposed to memorize these. You're supposed to know these. They're supposed to be ready on your lips. That means it's just second nature that you know this stuff, right? Let's begin. Don't wrong the poor man because he is poor, and don't crush the oppressed at the gate. For the Lord will take up their case and will plunder those who plunder them. I get that. Some people take advantage of people. Shouldn't do that. Okay. Don't make friends with an angry man, and don't be a companion of a hot-tempered man, or you will learn his ways and entangle yourself in a snare. There's some people that are always angry. Okay, just stay away from those kind of people. Okay, the next one. Don't be one of those who enter into agreements and put up security for loans. If you have no money to pay, even your bed will be taken from under you, right? Now, he's already said this at least 3 or 4 times. Do not co-sign for other people's loans, okay? It makes you responsible for something you have nothing to do with. They'll come after your stuff. Okay. Don't move an ancient boundary marker that your father set up. Encroachment still happens today. And the 5th one, do you see a man skilled in his work? He will stand in the presence of kings. He will not stand in the presence of unknown men. Right? People that are really good at what they do and humble about it usually get honored. Right? So there's chapter 22 and the first 5 of the 30 sayings we are supposed to just know and have memorized, right? On our lips. Let's go over the highlights up here. 3 is highlighted. A sensible person who sees danger and takes cover, but the inexperienced keep going and are punished. Right? The foolish, inexperienced. Right? You see danger, take cover. Get out of the way. Don't go there. Right? 4 is important. The result of humility or humbleness. Right? It says over here, and fear of the Lord. It says over here, is fear of the Lord. Right? The result of humility, humbleness, and fear of the Lord is wealth, honor, and life, right? Riches and glory and life. Right? Over here it just says the result of humbleness, right? Is fear of the Lord along with wealth, honor, and life. Right? And here it's different. And the and is italicized, which means it was probably added, okay? So this one is probably true. The result of humbleness is fear of the Lord, wealth, honor, and life. Yeah? Okay. 6, teach a youth about the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. You get them when they're young. Teach them when they're children. Right? And there is a time in most people's lives, usually during the teenage years, when they lash out and want to go their own way, but they usually always come back. Okay? I noticed this with some of my own kids. They always come back. 7, the rich rule over the poor and the borrower, slave to the lender, right? Even if you're completely debt-free, you're still a slave to somebody, right? If you own a property, you have to pay property taxes. They'll take it away from you. That makes you a slave. Okay? A generous person will be blessed, for he shares his food with the poor. Okay? And it says why all over Proverbs, right? If you give to the Lord, he will give you back more than you gave. Okay? If you give to the poor, you are lending to God, and he always pays you back with interest. That's being blessed. Right? A generous person will be blessed, for he shares his food with the poor. Okay? And our 5 sayings, keep them within you, constantly on your lips. Right? 3 times. 3 sundry times. 30. 30 sayings. We got the first 5 here. Don't rob a poor man because he's poor, and don't crush the oppressed at the gate. For the Lord will take up their case and will plunder those who plunder them. Right? Don't take advantage of poor people. Don't rob poor people because they can't defend themselves. The Lord will defend them. Okay? Spirit of anger. Don't make friends with an angry man, and don't be a companion of a hot-tempered man, or you will learn his ways and entangle yourself in a snare. Okay? I see a lot of these people, especially these protesters, right? They're so angry at the stupidest things, okay, when there's no reason to be angry. It boggles the mind of a sensible, right, common sense person. It just boggles the mind because they can't think that way, why they're so angry. It's something that has usually nothing to do with them, okay? It's been found out that the government has been ripping people off and stealing for many, many years. And the one who didn't steal anything but just uncovered it, they're angry with him, trying to destroy him. Right? These are fools that follow anybody. It makes no sense. And these people are angry, right? Just don't hang around those kind of people. Right? Okay. 3, Don't be one of those who enter into agreements and puts up security for loans. If you have no money to pay, even your bed will be taken from under you. Right? Don't co-sign for somebody else's loan. Okay? He says that over and over and over again. Don't move an ancient boundary marker that your father set up. It'd be nice if they still had land that you passed down to your kids. Not so much anymore, but encroachment is still a thing. It was a thing back then, and it's a thing now. And the fifth one, do you see a man skilled in his work? He will stand in the presence of kings. He will not stand in the presence of unknown men. Right? Somebody who's really talented at what they do, they get recognized, especially if they're humble about it. There you go. That's Proverbs 22 and the beginning of the 30 sayings. So, yeah. Stay tuned later today. We are in Luke chapter 2, I think, in our Through the New Testament in a Year. Nope, we're finishing Luke chapter 1. It's a long chapter. Okay. All about Mary. Mary's going to go to her Aunt Elizabeth's house, right? And the child, God in her womb, will speak to John the Baptist in Elizabeth's womb. Kind of interesting to read. Stay tuned for that later today. Give us a like if you think about it. But tomorrow we'll keep going. See ya.